Weekend at Bernie's 1, 1989. Weekend at Bernie's 2, 1993. The movies take place within a week of each other, which is an odd thing to do. So much time has passed, but for us, but not for them. It's like immediate.
I guess because you're dealing with but actually no, because with the plot. But I will say, having watched these both at the same time again, it does feel like the first one's almost just like a prequel to the second one. Like so much more happens in the second one. Like it's kind of crazy, but I think it's kind of fun that they were like, we're gonna do a sequel.
Right. So I always thought in the first movie it was implied that Bernie was laundering money for the mob, right? Business acquisitions and mergers and whatnot. Right. But in the second one, he was laundering money for a drug cartel in the Caribbean, and I guess he could be doing both, but he also didn't launder it very well because he took it out in cash. Which is not how you don't want these. You don't want the funds to be available for somebody to find. You want them passing through bank accounts and other things. That's the best way to do that. But they treat it as though it's
a lot about money laundering. Yeah,
I read a very informative article, I think in the New Yorker a few years ago, about how money is laundered, because I was like, no, they don't put it in a big washing machine. How is money laundered? And I was like, oh, so a casino, basically all casinos are just fronts for the mob, because everything just goes in and out and nobody knows where it came from. Anyway, there's also a fantastic conspiracy theory that mattress stores are all fronts for money laundering because nobody needs that many mattresses. There's like 75 mattress stores in your town. Nobody needs that many mattresses. Why are we doing this? So anyway, that's an interesting theory. It's unsubstantiated, but it's a theory. The second one is so full of ridiculous, over the top, impossible to even fathom shenanigans, which I guess is the next step after there's a dead body and nobody knows. I feel like there are multiple steps between that and the second movie, but maybe those all happened during the 4 years prior. Other scripts were written and rejected. I can't, it's such an odd thing to me that a movie like Weekend at Bernie's would have a sequel for it, greenlit 4 years later. And that it would just be, what if Bernie dances to music?
Yeah.
But honestly, a lot of this is, to me, somebody wanted to take an extended vacation in the Caribbean and make a movie while doing it. Because the U.S. Virgin Islands must be incredibly cheap to film in. Because there's not union crew down there. You don't have to pay anybody anything. And you get to live for several weeks in paradise. This is what this was. This you know what this was? This was a tax scheme, and somebody got to write off a vacation. That's what all this was. But
better than burying all that money under the ocean, man.
Yeah. Ultimately, this was neither of these movies was a non-enjoyable time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And that's like
that's rare for us, right?
That is like, this one I would not say, not to spoil it, but like I would not get the flick out of here. No. I think there's just something of like, when you commit to that level of absurdity and knowing like when it was filmed, like there's no other film like this, and there's no other film like the second one. So there's something that just automatically gets a forgiveness like that. And also we should note that like of anything that was filmed like in 1989 that we've seen to 1993 or whatever this was a more diverse cast. So that was nice to see, because there's like no black people in any of the other stuff that we watched from any of this. Not always the best representations of them, but in this movie, but like at least there was any diversity in it. This was just like so it's just so absurd. You have to see it, and to flip the script on going from nobody knows he's dead to these shenanigans. Like, at least they did something completely different in the second one, and it wasn't like another like beach house, whatever. Like, at least they attempted something. But I don't know if they're good, but they're enjoyable watches. So much of it is just because of the corpse acting performances that we get in this. And just as long as your expectations are like, you should feel like you're in college drunk wanting to watch a movie. Like, that's the like frame of mind that you should be in. So as long as your expectations are adjusted, I say keep this flick. Don't get it out of here. And it's just also like a fun cult classic-y type thing. I'll take it.
Yeah. The first one is ultimately nothing special, but an enjoyable watch. The second one is so off the wall, bonkers, bananas that you kind of have to see it, which is a weird way to do it. But I would definitely. I'm not going to say get the flick out of here. I won't do it. I can't.
We're keeping it. We're keeping these flicks.
We're keeping it. We're keeping it.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I click the subscribe button. You really should too. If you like videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, subscribe now.